I'm ready to see what happened on the internet today. And some of it yesterday. I don't know, I missed out on a bunch of stuff. I wasn't here for a day. I had to reassess, you know? So, let's just get right into it. Let's not waste any more time. It's all crashing down from Asmongold, probably talking about the whole streaming culture.
Yeah, so the streamer, we'll talk a little.
Damn it, I always mess up my audio. Okay. Needed to go into my earbuds.
Yeah, so the streamer, we'll talk a little bit about the Streamer Awards, okay?
Yep, Streamer
We'll talk
Awards.
a little bit about this.
No Streamer Awards, noms, Sag.
You know
Honestly, I don't even really care. I'm just here for the drama.
why you didn't get nominated. You know why.
Yeah, we weren't going to win anything, let's be real. 12K. How was the podcast? It was amazing. Probably the best podcast we've ever, probably one of the better podcast episodes we've done. No nomination, who cares?
Yeah, and honestly, Hassan would probably win some stuff just because he's got a bunch of freaks that'll just rally behind him to have him nominated for things.
Lol, yeah, I know. It's funny because it's like, this has been a relatively
What's wrong with your hair?
tumultuous year.
Yeah.
The more like mainstream recognition I receive as a political commentator,
Right.
the more
The more
angry
what?
and resentful other political commentary adjacent people get, and the more they
He just can't stop touching his hair. What is with that?
He better not be thinking about me. I don't care you have an article written about you. Why do I give a fuck about that? He better not be thinking this is about me. I don't care.
He is such a fucking valley girl.
It's fine. It's good content for me. I don't care.
fucking do smear campaigns, and the
Smear
more
campaign. Oh god.
separated and connected I feel from the
You've gone on smear campaigns against so many people. Like, this is what you get.
community. No one got nominated who does political content, so it is what it is. Yeah.
That's true.
Except XQC, who
Who doesn't
XQC.
do political content. And you know this. You know he doesn't do political content. You know he doesn't. Wait, what are we talking about here?
literally live streamed with the president. With the
Like, he's a political commentator, but he thinks that he's in competition with people like Asmongold and XQC and Aiden Ross and people like that. Bro's cooked. He doesn't even know which culture he's in.
Oh, God. So, doing one... And by the way, this was the extent of XQC's live stream with Trump. Hi! Okay, that was it. That was the whole thing.
current president. But I
Yes.
guess that's not, he's not considered a political streamer because
Because that's not his entirety of his content. And him being on Aiden's stream while Aiden interviewed Donald Trump for 5 minutes is not equivalent to you spending hours every single day doing politics. That's correct. These two things are not equivalent to each other. Yes.
he's XQC. And Aiden Ross.
Who also was...
What the fuck did I say? Dude, I knew he was gonna bring up Aiden Ross.
Wasn't nominated, by the way.
On Kick.
Who was not nominated.
But I don't think AT&T has an issue with XQC in the same way that they have an issue with me.
I wonder
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Probably the terrorism support.
why.
You didn't have a whole live stream with Trump like Aiden Ross did. Maybe top influencers in the rep beyond vote, and Aiden Ross.
And by the way, he doesn't want corporations like AT&T to know who he is and like push his message, because then the masses will know who he is, and that will be really not good for him. Or maybe it's exactly what he wants because it'll create more division.
There's so many streams with Nick Fuentes, who's an actual Nazi and anti-America. Yeah, I mean XQC.
XQC what?
XQC literally streamed with Donald Trump.
Why does he care so much about XQC?
And I don't think AT&T has any problems with XQC. AT&T literally blacklisted me.
Why is this dude always butthurt about something?
AT&T likes XQC.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, cry about it more.
Think streaming with the president
That
for
helps.
like a day or like a few hours is the same as making political content every day?
He streamed with Donald Trump.
Jesus.
That in and of itself is a perfect example of this.
I saw somebody say AT&T place.
I don't understand this at all. It's crazy. And yeah, what is this? And it's nuts. Of course, obviously, XQC isn't a political creator. How do you even say this? Like, what do you mean? QTCinderella
He's retarded. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
on why problematic streamers weren't nominated. Okay, so here we go.
Turns out their audiences don't show up. Okay, total cap.
Somebody said, are problematic people blackballed from getting nominated? No, they've just never nominated. Turns out their audience
I call bullshit.
doesn't show up. I think when people have like a crazy audience or whatever, you know, I don't see Jack Doherty's audience voting for him. I just
Because doesn't have one.
don't.
That's true.
They just don't show up.
Probably view botting.
I don't know. I wish I could. It is always funny. Audiences will complain every year that they weren't nominated and then like not do nominations on stream or not tweet about it or not like ask their audience to vote for them or nothing. They'll give nothing. They give nothing, you know.
And she's saying it right there. Basically, you got to be on the inside. You got to be promoting it or you're out.
It's like you gotta
Somebody said it's iPad kids. Yeah, these are all iPad kids.
you do have to log in with a Twitch account and you have to fill it out, which I know some people's viewers don't have.
Somebody said, who gives a fuck about these awards? I give a fuck about the drama. I like the drama. It's absolute cinema to me.
She's trying to insinuate that they're view botting.
Yep, true. That's what I
won't
think
say
too.
the quiet part out loud.
It's clearly what she's doing.
Somebody
She's trying
said,
to, she's trying to insinuate they're view botters. So here's the thing.
It's bullshit.
You're lying.
Yep.
You know you're lying. Everybody knows you're lying. If you are not lying, I think this is what my assertion is. I think that you have exercised editorial control and you have picked the nominees not completely from fan voting, but from your own opinions and to keep the show brand friendly.
Ooh.
I think that the priority for the show is to make sure that the show gets as many viewers as possible and maintains as many sponsors as possible.
Yep.
I think that's what
That's all these people care about. And every single time they prove to be the corporate fucks, the corporate freaks that we don't like, that do all the dumbass corporate bullshit and they lie to make more money.
happened. And
Or they don't lie. They just manipulate the truth and give you weird workaround answers to things.
I am willing to bet $100,000 on it.
Oh!
Invite me next year
That's
to
a lot
watch
of money.
the voting. And if the people that get voted on actually are the ones that get nominated, I will donate $100,000 to the charity of your choice. That is how certain I am that you're lying. Go ahead.
Not gonna do it. Yeah, they're not gonna take the offer.
So we'll see what happens. Surely they would take it up. Surely they would take it up with me, right? Of course. And I think it's so obvious. It's so obvious they're lying. Like anybody could tell this. Anybody could know this. And I mean, you'll be watching. They won't do it. Of course, right? And then you'd have the actual nominees. That's my whole point. And so yeah, it could be a million. So it wouldn't happen. Well, and again, maybe they'll take me up on it. Maybe they'll, might kind of, never mind towards the end, right? And but yeah, that's what I'm saying. By the way, the charity she chose is my Cash App or whatever she wants, right? Yeah, I 100K to any charity you want. If you think that if I get to watch the voting happen, if you give me back-end access to the voting and I can watch the number go up, and then you can tell me that the nominations were completely organic.
I think it'll make history. I think it'll make at least internet history if this actually happens. And I think it should, and it needs to, and it'd be just all around good for the internet.
I think it's not true. I think you're lying. I do.
Same. Yep.
Sorry. And it's like, and there's a lot of these, like, for example, like, and here's some of the reasons why I think it's not true. It's that you have somebody like Hassan. Hassan has been nominated every single year for multiple awards, multiple times. And this time, he wasn't even nominated for League of Their Own, which really, Hassan is one of the only people on the platform that does political content. And he was one of the first people besides Destiny that really made it his primary content. And you're telling me that he didn't even get nominated for that? He didn't get nominated for that, the League of Their Own? There was nothing that he got nominated for at all? Are you going to insinuate that Hassan was viewbotting too? This is your friend. So very clearly, you're not going to do that. So explain the dissonance there. Explain why that didn't happen. And you also have all these other streamers, like, oh, well, we're not going to put people in multiple categories from last year, and now you're...
Yeah, I don't like any of these people. I think they're all garbage. They're all the same type of people. They're all fake. At least Hassan kind of tells you what he thinks, even though he's completely retarded and he actually probably doesn't feel what he thinks at all, and he's just saying shit. He just knows what take that is the actual, like, he knows what Americans think, and he says the opposite of that.
Doing it. I just don't believe it.
But at least he says it, man. These people just won't say it.
I don't believe it. I think you're lying. I think you're bullshitting.
Yep.
And that's it.
Son lies all the time, but we can see right through it. This time we can see right through it, but they lie all the time, and nobody even sees it.
And so why wouldn't they be there? Well, the reason why is that I think they take certain creative liberties and they take certain, basically, editorial decisions to remove, suppress, and not include certain people in the voting. Yep. I think that's what happens.
I think that happens with every award show, by the way.
And I am so certain that I will bet $100,000 on it. That's what I think. It's obvious. It's obvious. Everybody can see it. Oh, and by the way, if I win, I don't have to get anything. I don't want anything. I just want to see that I'm right. I don't need any leverage here. I don't need any, you don't have to do anything for me or anything like that. Nope. I'm just going to show that I'm right. That's it. Rigged like most other award shows? Yes, I guess so. And Ensemble, give the 100K to me for no reason instead? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a good idea. And you can't tell me Queso isn't in Streamer of the Year? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they voted for him. Maybe they didn't. I have no idea. So much of the voting is by her audiences and adjacent audience. Do you think if your audiences interacted and voted for you? I did, but the majority of chat thinks it's stupid and doesn't care.
That's another good point. Most of the people that are voting in this is like part of these people's audiences. So, of course, it's going to be like a popularity contest inside their little LA streamer bubble.
Well, I mean, what do you think the probability is that I didn't even get voted for MMO streamer? What do you really think the probability for that is? I think it's extremely low after winning it two years, right? And so, like, I mean, really, what's the probability of this? And I think, and also, by the way, I don't care about this. Like, it doesn't matter to me personally. But I'm saying that in a general sense, I think
at this point, he's just creating content.
It is rigged. You're 100% rigging it.
Yep.
And again, next year, if you're not going to rig it, if you think if you're that certain, show me the data. Show me the data. Not show me the data after you've accumulated it. Show it to me as it is being aggregated in real time. I want back-end access to the aggregation system and how data is collected in real time. The raw data as it is happening, as it occurs extemporaneously. Give me that.
They're basically creating like the celebrity award show, where it's always the same group of people getting awards who are all in the same movies, part of the same corporations. It's like, it's all the same shit, just on a really pathetic kind of copycat level.
And you're going to find out. Ludwig obviously is going to defend his girlfriend. I get it. Everybody I see firsthand how much time...
Ludwig's going to defend everybody.
and passion QT devotes into the Streamer Awards. Every year she gets shit from every corner of the internet that feels like they deserve more. I know it's not possible to please everyone, but if you're like me, inspired by the work she puts in and thinks it makes streaming a better place, don't be afraid to be more vocal about it. Yeah, of course, people want to be positive, and, you know, I can't fault Ludwig for trying to support his girlfriend. I get that. I understand it. I'd do the same thing if I was him, but I do think that it's not accurate. I think that it's not accurate, and I think that that's not actually what the numbers are. There's this.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the passion. I give a shit on like what they did to get the results. It's an award show.
Even the nominated communities are crashing out. Oh my fucking god!
My whole team of clippers who had 24 hours to grab the clips did not know what all of Jason's relationships were in the past. Like, I can't like.
Oh man, she's gonna cry. She always cries.
I'm sorry.
What's she mad about?
I can't have an expert from every community come and give me the
Like
clips.
every time she gets mad at chat and she can't get away from the chat, she cries.
Then you guys would know the nominations. Like, oh my
What's
god,
the
I'm not
problem?
getting fucking hate threads on fucking Jason's community posts. That's like his Twitter com shitting on me. Like, Jesus Christ.
Who cares about what people on Twitter say? Stop getting mad on the internet. These people aren't fucking real.
It's a Twitter community. Who gives a fuck?
God.
Didn't Jason get nominated for Streamer of the Year?
But it's just like, really? 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 Why are you explaining to us rather than talk to Jason? I have talked to Jason! Jason's not the one that's mad!
Oh, man. She keeps crashing out. You're making it worse. Every time these people do this, it makes it worse.
It's you fucking freaks that are mad for
Then why do you give a fuck?
You're making it worse.
Jesus Christ. Like, genuinely.
Like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to the people who are actually here for you. You're talking to the trolls.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Thank you, Mac. Oh, it's just
She's
so
actually
frustrating.
losing her mind.
Uh-huh. Videos glow quality. It might be a smaller
God.
screen.
Picked one of my favorite pics of me with my eyes closed leaning against the wall. I believe that you were all trying to portray us at our best. Thank you. I just love puzzles. God, I'm doing my fucking best over here. And the store didn't even have Cheerios. I'm just so tired.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh, God.
Always with the crying, man. Embarrassing.
You gotta stop this. Like, you gotta stop this. Like, this is just, it is so unhealthy. It's so bad. Like, you do not need to do this. Like, this is just, come on. What are you doing? Like, it's just a few idiots on the internet.
Yeah, and I believe it's kind of on purpose. She gets into all this on purpose because it generates views. Why else would you do this? Why else would you put yourself through that mental anguish?
Like, why even give a fuck? It doesn't even matter.
The money matters.
Like, so the Twitter community doesn't like you?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Now,
What
Yeah,
is
well, it's for views.
this?
we're gonna do our real job, which is play fucking video games for a living.
Yeah.
Because the one I'm getting off the shit for isn't even my fucking job.
Right.
God. So tired. I just want to play Dispatch so bad, and I haven't had any time because I'm working on this stupid fucking award show.
Yep.
I'm so tired of crying. I'm 30, by the way.
Yeah, we know.
Oh my god.
You will never be free until you...
She's acting like a high school girl at a party who got, like, her feelings hurt by a guy that she liked. You know, that's exactly what she's acting like.
Stop doing this. Like, you gotta stop. It is, you're 30 years old. Like, really, you're a grown-ass woman. You gotta stop doing this. You gotta stop letting a bunch of teenagers in a Twitter community get you rustled.
Well, she thinks she is a teenager.
Like, that's just what happens. Like, you're gonna have some people that might not agree with what you did. It's not really a big deal.
Thanks for the raid. I'm sorry. It's so embarrassing. It's been a long day.
That's nuts.
And all I wanted was Cheerios. But all I got was paste salsa.
I
Paste
just,
salsa isn't even
I
my
don't even
favorite
know what to
salsa.
say. I really don't even know what
It's
to
just what I
say.
thought would go nice with Cheerios.
Jesus.
And I didn't even get the Cheerios.
I feel bad for calling it out because I can see obviously it bothers her, but I mean, you can't be doing a show like this and be fucking changing the votes and shit. Like, I think that they did it. And as I said, if not, then I'll admit that I'm wrong. And
I think there's all kinds of fake bullshit going on at every level over there at the Circle of Twitch.
Anyway, yeah, I do think it's rigged. I do. I think it's rigged.
I think the whole fucking website's rigged, too.
It's rigged. And let me see if I pull up some more of these.
Especially, you know, like Hassan being the golden boy of Twitch, being in the inner circle, and he goes over to China. It's very interesting. Like, there's definitely some influence going on there.
Too. Fans are disappointed. QTCinderella, we have a blackball Cutham from the Streamer Awards. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I feel like there's a you gotta have. I mean, you had to at least get a nomination for something like this, like biggest collab of the year, right? I mean, damn. They had to do something.
No one is telling me.
Yeah. What'd he do?
To see if there was anybody we should check in on.
Hey.
Nobody.
You look
Okay,
pretty.
that's
You look
totally
pretty.
fine.
Hey.
Then we're going to go ahead and move to our next.
Oh god. Banned?
Damn.
Oh shit. Oh no.
No one is telling
Jason
me.
banned him? I know. Oh man, he got banned right off that shit, huh?
To see if there was anybody we should check in on.
Wow.
Hey.
Nobody.
And he
You
okay,
look pretty.
that's
You look
totally
pretty.
fine.
Hey.
You look pretty.
Then we're going to go ahead and move
Hey.
to our next.
That's pretty good.
+1 incel. Our power is growing. Yep, there you go. His face. Oh my fucking god, bro. Wow, so funny.
That
is
was
funny
pretty
as
good.
fuck, man. No, bro. Did you just say what I think you said?
Okay.
Why is this old lady?
God, oh my god, you can't say
No shot she doesn't see this, by the way. And she's gonna get all up in her feels and insecure about it.
that. You can't say that. She's like 30. She's not that old. Come on, man. Like, oh, what are you probably reading chat.
Getting some man at all these little zoomers. You know? What's she doing? Like, shouldn't she just, like, I feel like she needs to just relax.
Just for shit.
Let the zoomers do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 for gamers is retirement age. You're right. True. So true.
Go play some
true.
bingo.
Go play some bingo.
Oh, damn. Got
They're
her.
telling her to go play bingo. She's 30 years old. The thing is, what's crazy is I think me and Quinn are older than. I know I am. I'm pretty sure Quinn's older than 30.
Go eat your tapioca, Grandma. Grow up. Quit crying. And speaking of awards shows, let's move on to the Game Awards 2025 are wild. I want to know about the Game Awards. The one with, what's his name? Jeff Keighley, is that his name? I figure that one's going to be pretty good. Let's check it out.
Gals, me Mudahar, and
Whoa, what is with this video quality?
hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and oh boy, we're here with the Game Awards, ladies and gentlemen. You know, every year I do one of these Game Awards videos, especially when they let the voting come out. Now, of course, obviously, for some people who will say, Muda, the Game Awards are always rigged. Your vote doesn't matter. Actually, that is...
I think it's probably the least rigged out of all of the award shows out there, especially the Streamer Awards.
factually true. How are the winners selected? They got a voting jury, 90%. It's a blended vote, they say. 90% goes to them. However, we as fans have 10% voting power. Basically meaning, at least from my understanding, that even slaves had higher percentage voting powers here. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Clearly the jury is made up of all of the big, I mean, it's got NPR here, you've got PC Gamer, you've got Rolling Stone.
Oh man, it's got all of the usual suspects.
Pride, Variety, everything right here. So you know what? I'm going to use my 10% voting and just look through the nominees. We're going to have a good time, talk about some video games, and then I can get back to some...
It's definitely going to be a disaster.
Metroid Prime 2. All right, so we got Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience all across all creative and technical fields.
Definitely probably going to be Expedition 33.
Okay, so you've got Expedition 33, which I expect this game to win Game of the Year, to be honest with you, because it actually is such a great game. Out of this whole list, I haven't played Donkey Kong Bonanza, so I can't really say much for it. From what
I don't know anybody who's played any of these except for Silk Song and Expedition 33.
It's just, it's kind of like Super Mario Galaxy, except better. But, you know, Hades 2, I like the game, but I'm not like super duper into like Hades or Hades 2. Hollow Knight Silk Song, again, I like it, but it's also not like perfect Game of the Year for me, okay? These two games are great, just personally not my crazy cup of tea.
This one's a crazy one to throw in there. I don't see this one winning, especially over Expedition 33.
I do love Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but honestly, my Game of the Year, it either has to be Expedition 33 or Death Stranding 2. And you guys might hate me for this, okay? I'm sure it's going to be contentious. I'm personally voting for Death Stranding 2, simply because, like, the game itself was such a massive increase over the first game. Like, if the first game was a divisive title...
I'll get around to playing it eventually.
The second game just, like, is built for pretty much everyone, right? Like, you know, it gets you the combat, it gets you a whole bunch of, like, abilities off the rip. And it's just one of those games where, like, you know, if you play the original, it just built upon that delivery gameplay, the BT combat, the human combat, more so than the previous titles. Tons of quality of life updates, looked amazing, played super duper well. It genuinely was my Game of the Year, I would say. Not to say that Expedition 33 is bad in any game. I would say that this year, 2025, probably one of the best years for video games.
My Game of the Year is probably Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, but that's definitely way too old to actually win.
Period. Like, if you thought gaming is dead, you know, even the AAA stuff brought out some pretty good stuff. So, and Death Stranding 2, just my personal fave. I consider it such a massive upgrade over the first game.
But we usually get like 20 to 30 bangers a year. We didn't get that.
That, you know, I can't not but give it my Game of the Year pass, okay? Oh, there it is. It works. Best Game Direction. Oh boy, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of this. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I will say, out of all this, as great as Death Stranding...
Yeah, Ghost of Yote, best game direction. Get that shit out of here.
2 was. This is where I'm going to start leaning towards Expedition 33. If you guys ever played like a game called Lost Odyssey, kind of reminds me of a JRPG.
Ooh, I have played that game.
That nature. But just in game direction and design, if you want to get into like JRPGs, I think Expedition 33 is probably the most involved I've ever been in a JRPG in quite a long time. Just generally because, like, obviously it's more where you have to like think of your timings, but you also have to really think of each party member and the skills and abilities they bring. It almost reminds you of like Final Fantasy X, where like each character, like, you know, counteracted a certain ability or affinity in the game world, and you just have to constantly switch back and forth. So this is just one of those games where like you're more involved with party builds, just the gameplay in general.
Split Fiction's pretty good. I've played a little bit of Split Fiction. I could see how it could be nominated. It ain't beating Expedition 33.
Well, it's just one of those things where you're just...
I think if this was real, Expedition 33 would probably sweep.
Alert with the actual game. And then, of course, the creative vision, too. Like, if you're going to talk about the visual direction of the game, too, Expedition 33 clears basically anything on this list. Probably with the exception of, I would maybe say, like, Hades 2, because Hades 2 is like... I'm just a sucker for those kind of like visual styles, but Expedition 33 absolutely wins that category. And we're going to be seeing Era 404 a hell of a lot. So hold on a second. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. You know,
kick these two out of there. Silent Hill F, I don't know much about it. I didn't really get into it very much. It just seemed like something that it almost was like Fatal Frame, but it was more action oriented and more modern than I would have liked from something that looked like Fatal Frame. And it just didn't seem like a Silent Hill game.
It's either going to be Expedition 33 or Deliverance 2. As great as I thought Death Stranding 2 on the beach is, I will say the last, like...
Yote is definitely not getting best narrative. Come on. Get real. Get real here.
Act of this game becomes super confusing. Like, it's super great up until the point where you beat, like, one of the bosses that you've constantly been going up against. By the time you get to the end of this game, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it is actually, like... I swear to God, if there was ever any evidence that Hideo Kojima did lines of cocaine in his office, this game would be the exact definition of it. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Expedition 33. I mean, just from the get-go, just from the very beginning, that game keeps you hooked in right to the very end, okay? So vote for that, absolutely. Oh, best art direction. Man, it's the...
Dude, like, it is literally the same games. And I know a bunch of games that did just as well and better. Like, I'm not even seeing any Borderlands 4 in here yet.
Exact same category as before. Jesus. All right, you know, it's either between, like, Hollow Knight Silksong. Ghost of Yotei probably comes in close, but I don't know, man. Just the worlds in Expedition 33. I think we know what's going to win. It's going to be Expedition 33, dude. Jesus Christ.
I think this is going to be rigged, and they're not going to let Expedition 33 win. Just judging by the titles that made it, I don't think that Expedition 33 is going to win.
Or in music, if Expedition 33 is beyond this Error 404 screen, it's getting dropped in, depending on what else is in there, but definitely a clear... Oh yeah, it's absolutely a clear for Expedition.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? Best score in music, if Death Stranding 2 is on here, it's definitely this, because...
I could see that.
Like,
yep.
Best use of music I would probably see in any video game is...
I like a lot of the songs still from the soundtrack from the first game. I haven't heard any from the newest one, but I'm into it. Hey, what happened to my stream here? Okay, there we go. It's back up.
Right there with Death Stranding 2. I would say Expedition 33 is decent. Like, there are some really banger tracks for, like, locations you're in. Like, I would just say the introduction when you're in, like, the very, like, probably, like, the first 2 hours of the game, even, when you're fighting in, like, the underwater world that you go to. The battle theme alone just had me, like, bumping it for, like, a while. Like, I just...
What do you think the next games category is going to be full of? You think it's going to be the same games?
I just let my controller, like, sit while I listen to it, and I don't rarely do that for a lot of games, but when your music is on point, I will. But still, even with all this said, I'm still going to give it Death Stranding 2. Like, just the use of music here, like, just the tracks they brought in were so well curated, so I'm going to go for that one for sure. Best audio...
Oh, we threw in Battlefield 6 just to mix things up. Best audio design? Are you running against Expedition 33? And Death Stranding 2? And Silent Hill F? Okay. All right. Who's putting these games in there? Who's that 90%? We saw who it was, but who, like, actually is responsible for putting these games into the voting pool? Like, come on, man. These nominations are garbage.
Design. Oh, Battlefield 6 is in here? Alright, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design, then absolutely Battlefield 6. Like, if you're gonna look at every single game applied here, like, just the usage of, like, I mean, you put on a good pair of headphones with Battlefield 6, man, and I'm telling you right now, you'll feel like a goddamn, like, soldier in the middle of Manhattan. So I'm gonna have to give it to Battlefield 6 for that. Absolutely amazing sound design. I mean, just visual design off the rip, too, like, with the amount of, like, explosions and the amount of destructive...
I think he's just coming up with reasons to not pick Expedition 33, honestly.
...ability happening. And the fact that I still have yet to have a bad server day is absolutely mind-boggling. So go for that one. Best performance. Let's go. All right, let's see. Best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting.
Oh, we got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It might be that one. I don't know. I heard some of the acting from that game. It's pretty good.
Motion and or performance capture. Let's see. So we've got Silent Hill F, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei. Okay, well, I mean, Expedition 33 has like 50% of the goddamn performance charting here. God.
Yeah, and Ghost of Yotei looks like garbage, so I don't think it's going to get that. And also, if you're talking about best performance when it comes to actually playing the game, it's going to go to Expedition 33. Because these three absolutely performed like garbage.
Dude, Jesus. But you know what? Unironically, I'm probably going to give it to like Indiana Jones because I feel like Troy Baker did such a good job that I couldn't even identify if it was like Harrison Ford to begin with. He did a really good job on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I actually really enjoyed that game. So, you know, because Expedition 33 has already stuffed 50% of this, I'm going to give it to Troy Baker over here for Indiana Jones. Great game. Going to go to the next vote. Innovation and accessibility.
Okay. All right, this one's the most fucked up. I think out of all of these, it's probably South of Midnight. Because what the fuck was Assassin's Creed Shadows even? Atomfall, I heard, was like Fallout, but lesser. Doom the Dark Ages was just kind of meh. A sports game. And then South of Midnight, which was kind of like a PS2 adventure game. I think I'd give it to South of Midnight over all of these. Maybe Atomfall. But I didn't play Atomfall.
Recognizing software and hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, tech, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
A wider audience.
You know, when it comes to innovation and accessibility, it's always like, you know, which game comes with the really good features that lets anybody play them. So I guess like things like color blindness, you know, the subtitling, all that.
You could literally turn the bosses off on South of Midnight, so I think probably that one.
You know, anything that makes somebody who's like visually impaired, you know, any kind of impairment play a video game. Now, personally, I've played AC Shadows. Unfortunately, I've not done Atomfall. I haven't played Doom the Dark Ages.
Nobody has.
I don't know, man. For some reason, I just was not on a Doom binge this year. EA Sports, I have not played. South of Midnight, I have not played. But I feel like if you're the kind of dumbass that keeps buying an EA Sports game every fucking year, especially from EA, then I think that you're already pretty fucking disabled for the most part. And so
I know some people that buy sports games, like all of the yearly releases, and that's the only games that they get. And dude, let me tell you, they are double-digit IQ.
If this game is still purchasable and playable all the way to the end, then clearly they have some kick-ass accessibility features. Because the audience for this is, is a certain different breed of human being, to be honest with you. So let's give EA the vote for that one, okay? Congratulations. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. All right, so
what the fuck is this Consume Me game? Like, I'm pretty sure Asmongold looked at it and it was nothing. Games for Impact. This seems like DEI woke slop games award.
Usually when
pro-social meaning. Like, get the fuck out of here with these social messages games.
Myself for not being the most thought-provoking pro-social gamer when I'm actually like a fucking gamer with a capital G. I have never played any of these games at all. So I'm just gonna
South Midnight is definitely the best out of all of these.
Vote with what I think looks the coolest, okay? I think I've seen some South of Midnight gameplay. It's the one where it animates at like 10 frames per second. Kind of like that one Spider-Man movie, Wander Stop, Consume
You
Me?
you can turn off the frames thing, the frame skip thing in South of Midnight. It looks all right.
What the fuck? I gotta wait. What does consume me? Hold on. I gotta see what consume me means. What? Consume me? Do you feel stupid, fat, lazy, and ugly in high school? Well, I did, but at least I made a life simulation RPG about it. You know what? Honestly, yeah, I'll fuck with this one. Why not, dude? Let's go. Let's play the average gamer's nightmare. Let's go. The average gamer experience. Next, best ongoing. Now, this is giving me an error 4.
That just seemed kind of like the average trash game you'd find on Newgrounds.
Or 4, as you see. But I imagine, I haven't seen these lists, but I imagine it's going to be filled with Final Fantasy XIV Online and No Man's Sky. I was fucking right! I was right! You know what? I always give it to No Man's Sky, and they
it always wins every time. It's got to, because it is the best.
always are deserving of it. So yeah, No Man's Sky gets that. Best community support. Let's see, which one's Discord is the smelliest?
Ooh. I think it's probably got to go to Baldur's Gate 3 or No Man's Sky.
Boys, I feel like if I'm going to have to give it best community support, probably just going to give it to No Man's Sky, because again, these are the same people where a dude was like stranded on Death Island, Death Planet, and somebody came in to save that person's ass. So can't get a community better than the NMS community. Simple as that. Best independent game. All right, best independent game. Let's see. Hades 2, Expedition 3. Is that really an indie game? I guess I thought it was like a AA game, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's self-published, so it's indie.
Okay. You know, out of all these games, the one that I enjoyed the most, I'm gonna have to give it to Expedition 33.
Definitely.
So, yeah, there you go.
That's probably the category that it's gonna win.
Best indie game? The best game that I played out of all this list, you know, actually...
The fuck is this? It's like literally they're at the urinal. Megabonk is probably gonna win this though.
I've been wanting to play Megabonk. I
That's
haven't
probably gonna
gotten
win
it yet, but I've heard it's exceptional. I haven't played it yet though, so I wouldn't really know. Dispatch I heard is also pretty good too, but I haven't played it. I'm not really huge into the episodic stuff, even though it's rich coming from a guy that plays like Detroit Become Human pretty much day one, beat it day one. I think I'm still going to give it to Expedition 33. I feel like I got to broaden my horizons, though. There's a couple games that I missed out this year. Jesus. Best mobile game. Oh, you know, this is a party that
It's probably going to Wuthering Waves. That's the only one that I've heard of that people actually play.
I love, which is my favorite mobile slop. Let's see. Actually, out of all this, ironically, in the entire list, and I hate to be admitting this, I've been playing Wuthering Waves, man, so I'm going to give it that. I don't know, man. Some of these games are like really good on mobile, man. It almost feels like I'm playing full PS5 experiences. Back when I was a young buck with the iPod Touch, Gameloft pretty much kept me alive and handy.
Dude, I played Black Ops on what I don't even remember. iPhone 4. Oh, the Black Ops Zombies. Call of the Dead. It was great. Good times. Terrible game. Controlled garbage.
Let's see, best VR AR. Now, this is not going to be a category that I'm pretty much exceptional at, simply because I don't play much virtual reality games. I mean, I used to sleep in Minecraft, but actually playing a video game in VR, not something that's super...
No, this is the only one that I heard of, and I figured Deadpool would be really annoying after a while.
Super duper there, but out of this list...
Well, you got Alien Rogue Incursion, that seems cool. Arcan Age, that also seems cool.
Only one that I can recognize and have actually played a bit is Alien Rogue Incursion, which I love anything Alien related, man. Like, if they could just if Alien Isolation...
I wish I could get into VR. I want to get into VR with the Steam frame.
2 could just have an optional VR mode. I think that would probably win Game of the Year before it even drops for me. Best action game, Shinobi. Oh yeah, there was a Shinobi game that dropped. Ninja.
I don't think it's gonna be Doom or Battlefield. No way. Probably Ninja Gaiden 4 or Hades 2.
Gaiden 4, Hades 2, Doom: The Dark Ages, or Battlefield 6. Hate me all you want, gamers. But I don't know, man. Battlefield 6 heart pounded. So I'm just gonna have to go with Battlefield 6 for this one, though.
People are gonna hate him for
probably
it.
Would have been a pick if Battlefield 6 wasn't in the rip there. Best action adventure. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving.
Oh, probably gonna be Death Stranding 2.
Yo, hold on a minute, Chief. Okay, there's only one game for me that hits here. It's Death Stranding 2, all right? Indiana Jones might be a close second, as would Silksong. But, yeah, Death Stranding 2...
Yeah, this is kind of just forced in there. And I don't think that it should win any of the awards that it's nominated for.
It's all about, you know, basically figuring out how to get from point A to point B and avoiding spooky monsters in between, okay? So, yes.
Man,
best
that 404
role-playing.
is rough.
If Expedition 33 is going to be in this list, which it will be.
Holy shit, why is Avowed here? I forgot about that game. Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2. I can think of so many better RPGs that's come out this year.
Oh, man. Oh, actually, this is a good look. Okay, so Avowed can go fuck itself. That's, I mean, if you're picking that.
Yeah, also, The Outer Worlds 2. Like, how did Avowed make it? What the fuck?
That should have been the best accessibility award, to be honest with you. Expedition 33, Deliverance 2. These are the two games. Monster Hunter Wilds is good, but I don't know, man. It fell the hell off for me after like a couple of weeks of playing it, and I just have not gone. I thought I was really gonna get into that game, but I just was not. Outer Worlds 2, I've heard is good, but I just have not bought and played that game. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's good, but it definitely shouldn't have made the cut.
I still really have to like truly do the DLC for the first game too.
Unless there's some RPGs that I'm thinking of that like they don't count as just straight up RPGs.
But for this, I think I'm gonna give best RPG not to Expedition 33, but actually Deliverance 2, because I really
it's probably more of an RPG.
do think Deliverance 2, like hands down. Just I don't know, when I think of an RPG, I think of just immersion, right? And they're talking about rich player character customization and progression. There is just something about it kind of like Deliverance 2 kind of makes me it's just an immersive RPG. Like I truly feel like as I'm playing the game, I'm actually leveling up what I'm doing.
Where would games like the Oblivion remake, where would they fit in? Is there a category for games like that?
As opposed to just, you know, it's
because I think it blows all of these except for Expedition 33 out of the water.
It's more engaging than just seeing level up, pick, you know, a perk or select skills. It is more of an immersive game than anything else on this list. Therefore, I'm going to give it to Deliverance 2. Oh man, I really am like complete.
What the fuck? This was complete trash. It was just actually completely broken. I don't know why this is on here. Probably because they didn't know what should go on the best fighting list.
Slapped out of here. I have not really played any of these games, as you know, actually probably just Mortal Kombat. But since that's
these are all the top corporate picks because nobody cares about this shit.
Collection, I basically have already played it with the original games too. But yeah, I'm not a huge fighting game fan. I've just never been one, but I will give it to Mortal Kombat.
Oh no.
Definitely the only game that I can pop some beers and play it with friends.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Best family game. Okay, let's see this one.
Oh,
the best
damn.
family game. Oh boy.
Probably Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World, Split Fiction. That is a pretty good list, I guess.
What's the best family game, guys? You know what? If I was to play a video game with my family, it would be Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. That game is, you know what? Honestly, Imaru like brought that game up to us. Me and Kyle and Imaru played the beta for that one night, and we actually really, really loved it. So I'm gonna go with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I feel like if I played Split Fiction, I might actually have jumped down that road. But yeah, absolutely, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Yeah, also Split Fiction. That's just like a 2-player game.
Easy family game win. Best sim and strategy. Okay, what is the best sim and strategy?
No, definitely not going to be Civilization 7. That game is a fucking travesty.
This list, I'm going to just straight up say it. If you pick anything other than Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, you're out of your mind. The only other game that comes close is probably The Altars, but I'm a Final Fantasy nerd. I'm going to go with the Ivalice Chronicles, although it is kind of wild giving a game an award that really technically came out fucking when I was a kid at this point. Jesus. The best sports and the best racing. You know, I'm kind of depressed looking at this list because, you know, there are times where I used to see Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, Forza Horizon even, but I'm just going to have to give it to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm sorry. If there was a Forza
game, it's getting it.
If there was a Need for Speed game, maybe it might have went there, but
yeah, there really weren't any top racing games this year at all.
Even then, probably Sonic Racing, man. Brilliant game.
Like what's going on?
The best multiplayer.
Why are we in such a dry spell for racing games? Those are some of my favorite games.
Yeah, one would say Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, or Elden Ring Night Raiders.
This is not a bad list right here. I think you can probably kick out Split Fiction, maybe Peak, but this is like friend slot, so there's a lot of people playing it.
You know, this is actually such a good list, but for me, it's either Arc Raiders or it's Battlefield
Once again, Split Fiction is just like 2-player and it's co-op.
6. And I don't know, man. I'm on an Arc Raiders kick right now. It might be too early to say, but it's one of the games. It's like, you know, I haven't played a game that's multiplayer that's gotten my...
Out of actual best, probably Elden Ring Night. Yeah, Elden Ring Night Rain. Probably the best. But out of most popular and most fun, it's probably got to go to Arc Raiders.
Mentioned this hard since Rainbow Six Siege. So
from what I've been hearing about online,
if it's already getting me now, I really think in a year from now I'll be like an Arc Raider stand. I'm gonna go with Arc Raiders on this one, even though Battlefield 6 was such a close click, it wasn't even funny. Best adaptation. Okay, the Minecraft.
Oh man, this is awful. Oh man. Minecraft movie, probably. This is all trash. Maybe Devil May Cry because it had Asmongold in it. This was a travesty. The Last of Us Season 2, that was just a fucking joke. Until Dawn, I heard it was pretty much just a joke also, but not as big a joke as The Last of Us Season 2. That one really felt like a slap in the face.
Movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell Death Watch, Until Dawn, or Last of Us Season 2. I'm gonna have to go with the Minecraft movie on this one. I heard Splinter Cell Death Watch was good, but I don't want to see...
I didn't. I heard it was awful.
Get pinned to the wall and butt fucked by Ubisoft and Netflix. I don't want to take that risk. I've heard it's good, but then again, people have fed me bullshit.
Yeah, you'll get a one-off because they're gonna fuck everything up if it's something good. You know they will.
I'm gonna go with the Minecraft movie.
Just out of principle, it seems at this point.
Saw that, I laughed at it, and that's all I needed. Most
I never even watched it.
anticipated game, Grand Theft Auto 6.
It's definitely GTA 6, but for me, Resident Evil Requiem. I love Resident Evil games, man. Favorite franchise. I am gonna be streaming Resident Evil 8 after this stream here over on YouTube, though.
You think I would vote for, but actually it's Resident Evil Requiem. I'm actually really hyped for February to come by.
Yes.
So I can record another Resident Evil game and upload a 15-hour playthrough on my channel. As excited I am as for GTA 6, I know it's coming, but I'm just a sucker for Resident Evil stuff, so I'm more in for Requiem. It really looks like, again, it's finally we're getting another Resident Evil game that's not a remake, so to speak.
Yeah, it's been a while. Resident Evil 8 was the last one, really.
We just had, we really
it
just
actually
did have
was.
Village. I want Requiem. I want this to slap as hard as it possibly can, and I want to be able to record it and share it on my channel when it comes out. Just again, it feels like they're putting all the stops for it. Looks like it's going to be like open world-ish kind of.
Oh yeah,
and I'm excited to go back to Requiem.
It's like I can imagine how it's going to be based on what Resident Evil Village was like, because it was kind of open world, except for some of the areas get closed off whenever you leave that area and you're done with it. Probably not going to be like that in Resident Evil 9. You'll probably be able to just go everywhere on the map.
City, I really am. I really am ready.
I can really imagine how Resident Evil would be open like that, based on like how Resident Evil 2 remake plays.
For it. And considering the replayability in a Resident Evil game, you know, I'm going to be playing this shit for...
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be playing this for quite a while. I'm going to be playing this probably all the way up until the summer and even beyond. Just trying to like speed run it, get the highest ranks, beat all the hardest difficulty modes.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like things like Mercenaries.
I'm gonna get that 15-hour run, and then I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna do it again, and probably do it a few more times
or whatever, or even.
And then the DLC is gonna come out, and then I'm gonna get that, and then we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it all over again.
Raid mode, God bless. If that's a thing, I'd totally be down to play it. Content Creator of the Year.
I'd say my man Moist Critical. I don't like Kai Cenat. I don't know anybody else. Moist Critical.
So I only know one person, well, two people from this list. But you know what? I know these two guys. I know who Kai Cenat is. I know who Charlie is. But you know what? Something about the burnt peanut just gets me going. I'm gonna give him the vote. Yeah, I'm only 10% of the vote anyways. I feel like compared to the rest of the squad, Burn Peanuts usually he's got the most exciting profile pic. He reminds me of the annoying orange. Let's go. Best esports game. There's really
Valorant and CS2 is what I see most.
a game called Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Are you serious? That's not a real game. That's not real. Hold on. App Store. Mobile. Why did I assume it was a mobile game just based off the title? Mobile Legends. Let's see. Bang Bang. Bang Bang. What is this? It's just it's a MOBA. It's a MOBA. You know what? I'm gonna go with what I actually play. Counter-Strike 2. Let's just give that as the esports game. I would say that I know people on. I would say that I recognize some people.
I don't know any of these
but
people.
I can't do you guys like that. I will say I just voted Counter-Strike 2 last. Probably most likely to watch Matthew here, so I'm gonna vote him in, even though this is not my category. Let's see. Team Vitality, best esports team.
I don't know shit about esports. I don't keep up with esports. I think that shit's stupid.
You know, I do remember.
At least the way we do it, because we like play these games like Mobile Legends, Counter-Strike 2, Valorant, Dota 2. Like, where's the challenges in games that we all love? Where's the old games? Where's like Halo 2? Or like, I don't know.
We're buying a skin for NRG, probably, I think in like Rainbow Six Siege. So I'm just
Like, let's get some Doom competitions, some original Doom competitions, or Duke Nukem.
gonna go with these guys. Okay, they look like the most happiest.
Maybe Unreal Tournament.
That you could see. Let's go there. Here's the player voice. So opens December 1st. So I guess this is when we get a new round. Now again, I posted all of my votes here, ladies and gentlemen. That was pretty much all I had to put in. What is best?
Yeah, I ain't voting for shit. I ain't never voted for nothing in my life.
I didn't vote best RPG. Hold on a minute. What did I not vote for best RPG? I did say Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Take that vote. Jesus Christ. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was in fact the Game Awards 2025.
Yep, it is going to be a shit show. I'm basically just waiting for the trailers at this point and the drama. So Ubisoft is dead. It's over. I'm hearing rumors that they're probably going to get sold, and it's probably going to be Tencent.
Ubisoft has been having a situation. Ubisoft, a couple of days ago,
They've been having a
postponed
situation
their
for a
earnings
long
call.
time.
They said, wait a minute, stop the count. Let's look at their stock right now. Flatlined. Absolutely fucking flatlined. Now, what
Yeah, you can't be having that. That looks so bad.
happens when something flatlines? Well, I think that we
I think it's getting sold.
all know it dies. Ubisoft has delayed their first half fiscal year 2025-26 earnings.
I wonder why that is. I wonder. And I wonder who fucking called this shit. And so many haters online pushed back. Where are the haters now? It's like they've completely disappeared. For every game. Like, literally every game that we were talking about, every company that we were talking about, all of the haters are gone. All the people pushing back are gone. It's almost as if it was completely manufactured.
Report just minutes before the scheduled release and requested a halt to trading of its shares and bonds. The company did not specify a reason. This follows financial pressures from underperforming titles like Assassin's Creed Shadows, which sold 4.3 million units in 6 months against the over $200 million development costs, plus earlier delays, studio closures, and layoffs. And this was 2 days ago, too.
How about that?
And they haven't said anything about this for 2 days. I'm sorry, guys, but a company with stock that looks like this? Imagine investing in 2008 and you're still down by over half. They literally had to pull their stock off of the exchange. Lived long enough to see Ubisoft go fucking bankrupt. Now, I do want to say, do you guys remember all of the people who spent all of their time go woke?
EA goes to Saudi Arabia. Ubisoft goes to China.
Go top the charts. And this is what I think is the best part about this, is that Ubisoft and these other companies, they will get gaslighted by these journalists and they'll be told, no, it's actually your game's doing great, everybody loves it. Is that this is like
and you also get the people who follow those publications that for some reason want a white knight for all of these weirdo journalists. and basically want to make fun of us and call us chuds and Nazis, right wing. And it's just like, we're talking about video games here. You're the one making it political. And it's just all fucking so fake.
Fucking Greek play. And you have the sirens call or the sirens of these mentally ill woke journalists that are singing the song of diversity, and
you got their followers, and you got their blind followers, which are even worse. The people who actually don't know, who come up with the talking points that they say, they just say them.
Attracting these video game companies to crash upon the shores. They're dead on the shores of the modern audience. That's it. That's what's happened. And really, the odyssey of Ubisoft, yes, is that these journalists always write these articles talking about how terrible it is that people get fired from their jobs and how mean it is that these companies are just firing people and they don't care about anybody's job.
Wah! Cry more about these giant corporations that don't give a shit.
You are gassing up companies, telling them to produce products that will not succeed in the market because it makes you feel good. And you're telling them lies. You're not giving them the constructive criticism and feedback that...
And you know what? It's their own fault for listening to it. Because why would you do this? Why would you... Everybody knows this isn't true. What's the point? What's to gain?
Market is so desperately asking you to provide, and now those people are losing their job, gassing them up over something that's not even true. It's pretty sad, isn't it?
No.
The gameplay for our two highly anticipated upcoming premium titles, Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, was not only praised by players and critics alike, but also highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our...
Yeah, they literally were just trying to lie to investors. And obviously it wasn't gonna work. What did they think that they could pick up the pieces before it all ended, before it all collapsed? And I don't know, man. That's crazy. So Metroid Prime 4 looks like modern audience slop. I've been feeling this from Nintendo for a little while, especially with the indie games that they've got going on over there and their free-to-play games. And I just noticed that they're trying to capture a wider audience, and we all know what happens when you try and capture the wider audience.
Let's be real. Were the people that are complaining about Mackenzie and Metroid Prime 4 ever gonna buy this game in the first place?
That's not the point. And also, this is the same shit that we hear every single time with all of these corporate slot games. You get all of these people who are just crying, defending these games. For what? For what reason? Why? Just people's opinions online. Instead of crying about other people, how about you give an opinion of why you think that it's actually good without saying anything about bad? And don't say actually good, because nobody wants to hear that, because you're just still being a whiny brat about something that other people have a different opinion about.
It is a pretty niche series, and fans who waited 18 years will not care. We just want more Metroid.
That's not how it works. I'm sorry to say.
You're alone on a planet with no hope of survival. But you're also not sitting next to Phil anymore in that cubicle, so... Win?
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Yep, true. Nintendo.
What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster. And there has been quite a debate over the...
Is it 2026 yet? Man, it's still 2025, ain't it? Fuck, I don't even know what year it is.
Past few days concerning this new trailer for Metroid Prime 4 that was released the other day. Most notably because the game has added a series of plucky sidekicks with the personality that you would expect.
Oh, you got the purple and teal. That's not a good sign.
From the likes of a bunch of MCU characters, complete.
Yeah, the color slot is there. Oh, it's not looking good.
With the corny humor that evaporates tension.
I'm Kamala Khan. But when I'm fighting crime on the streets of Jersey City, I go by Miss Marvel, and I hope that's okay, like copyright-wise, because honestly, I never thought I'd ever get to meet you.
Shut up! Yeah, that's the sort of humor that we're getting in this game. Personally, when I hear shit like that, it's just not funny at all. It has become a cringe.
Why they even gotta bring humor into it? They're not good at it. They're a bunch of old, lame dudes. Nobody cares.
Trope by now, in fact, and even the people who claim to like that stuff, I don't actually think that they do like it. I don't think that they actually find it funny. I think
they find it funny that people don't like it, so they pretend that they like it. They're always anti anything that actual real people, normal people like. Every time.
That if they laugh at that, it's forced, reminiscent of when a live studio audience sees the applause sign come on. I think they laugh because they know that they're supposed to. Anyhow, Metroid Prime 4 finally released a trailer that gave us some real information about the game, and frankly, it doesn't impress me because I don't play Metroid games with the hope of encountering...
It seems less good than Halo. It seems like it's trying to rip off Halo, and it seems less good.
Plucky sidekicks or anything like that. In fact, in most games in the franchise, Samus is a silent protagonist, or at least a mostly silent protagonist. I appreciate the level of seriousness that her character brings to the table. It adds to the gravity of the situations that she finds herself in. The idea of MCU humor being added to the IP has me going,
I am dead inside.
But naturally, there are plenty of Nintendo fanboys all over social media arguing with anyone saying this trailer was off-putting, trying to tell us that we aren't allowed to judge the game yet until we've played it. And keep in mind, I
do what I want. I don't give a shit. I say what I want. I think what I want. I don't give a shit what anybody says that they think I should do. If I want to say a game looks like trash, even if it looks like the greatest game ever, and I'm the only one with that opinion, I'm gonna say it. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. It's my opinion. But once you start getting upset, that's when you get people against you, man.
That was a really asinine approach to gaming discussion. A trailer is supposed to convince me to play a game. After all, the developer of the game is asking me to drop $70 or more for the privilege of playing it. It should be incumbent on them to convince me to spend that money. It is not incumbent on me to spend the money and play.
If they don't have any modern slop in there, I'll buy it on sale. Just like with every game.
The game in order to prove.
Good luck getting the masses who are exactly like me. Like people like me is who you really should be trying to get into your wider audience.
Spending the money on the game wasn't worth it.
That doesn't make sense.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel. Almost every day I hear from someone who says they didn't believe me when I talked about this phenomenon, but then they noticed that they themselves were unsubbed from the channel. I don't know why this happens, but I do hear it a lot, so check into that and hit the notification bell while you're at it. Anyhow, let's talk about Metroid Prime 4 and how actually the Nintendo fanboys are just the worst. Yesterday, when talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and how shitty Microsoft is, I said something about how Xbox fanboys are the worst because they will choke down any slop that Microsoft puts out, but to be honest, Nintendo fanboys...
Also, I don't think there's really enough Microsoft fanboys to keep them from dying against the Steam machine, or at least taking a huge hit. because you got a lot of people who are not fanboys of Xbox who still have an Xbox just because they want a console and they just happen to get an Xbox instead of a PlayStation or a Nintendo. But if they start wanting something, that's not good. That's not good for Microsoft's market.
May be the actual worst by a wide margin. And keep in mind that for
not good for Nintendo's market.
Many, many years, I have loved Nintendo. I love the brand. I have a lot of fond memories with Nintendos. I have owned literally every Nintendo console ever made, including all of the handheld ones.
I did too, all the way. Like, I had the Switch. I even had a Switch Lite. After that, nope, out. I'm lifelong Nintendo fan, and people were trying to convince me, or convince other people, or convince themselves that I was not actually a real fan of Nintendo, or else I would have gotten the Switch too. But I had the Switch, and I had the Switch Lite. I had everything that came before it. I had the DS, I had the 2DS, I had the DSi, I had the Advance SP. I've had everything. Not Switch 2.
Including the ill-fated Virtual Boy. My favorite thing about Nintendo is how they generally don't get caught up on flashy things like graphics. Instead, they focus on gameplay, and they tend to crank out games that are actually fun instead of worrying about drawing every last freckle on some character's cheeks. Don't get me wrong, their games do tend to look graphically at least okay, but they haven't been on the cutting edge, graphically speaking, for decades now. Their emphasis is generally on fun and coming up with innovative gameplay loops and innovative technology to emphasize those loops. So
this kind of just seems like a bunch of other games that I played from like 2016, and they're gonna charge full price for this.
Don't get me wrong, there is plenty that I love about Nintendo, but I think back to the earlier parts of this year when the Switch 2 was first announced along with the new price tag. Everyone in gaming spent the entire spring this year complaining about the raised prices and telling Nintendo angrily to drop the prices on their games and accessories and whatnot. Their trailers were flooded.
I think AAA games need to be like $40. I think that's actually where we should have them, and they need to stop being these ginormous games. I think they need to limit themselves. Make smaller games with less beefy graphics. Stop worrying about the way the ants' life cycle runs and the way the pebbles look on the walkways. Stop looking at all the individual freckles and like flakes of skin cell.
With angry comments, but the Nintendo fanboys caved in like crazy. This summer, when the Switch 2 was released, it became the fastest selling console of all time. So not only did it still sell well, but literally, it sold better than any console ever. And do you know what that means? That means that for a lot of people out there, Nintendo has them by the balls. They can release whatever they want, and the fanboys are just going to...
and you know, that's fine with me, because I'm just going to make fun of them, and I'm going to not play that slop. I'll just keep playing old games, AA games, indie games. I'm out on all that shit. No, thank you.
Gobble it up. And that brings me to this Metroid trailer. There are a lot of people talking about how much they despise.
It really looks like a whole bunch of purple and teal color slop.
The MCU level humor in this turd. But look at how this thing was received. In 3 days, they're at 863,000 views on this trailer, and look at the likes to dislikes.
And it looks pretty generic. It looks like a 2010 sci-fi shooter.
There are currently
2010, 2016.
38,000 likes to 2.4 thousand dislikes. What this tells me is that people are going to buy up this game like crazy. There are simply far too many cultural auto-intake zombies out there who love the Metroid Prime series so much that they just can't say no to it. And don't get me wrong, I get it to a certain extent. I understand what it is to be a mega fan of something, but these clips that are going around on social media...
Yeah, you can just keep eating dicks. You keep eating dicks, then all you're gonna ever get is dicks.
Are just awful, to the point that it doesn't feel like I'm looking at Metroid at all. Let's look at a few of them to ensure you have the full scope of what we're dealing with. In this first clip, you can see that the yellow paint that so many gamers complain about has actually mutated into a sentient person that takes you around by the hand.
So, where to? It might be a good idea to check the map and get our bearings.
I hope this isn't going to be a Navi situation. Did they not learn their lesson? Don't have a navigation, like, character floating around your head constantly, talking to you, trying to get your attention, tell you things.
And then here, this clip showcases that Samus is now accompanied by a Redditor of some kind throughout the game.
Oh! Whoa! You are sneaky quiet, you know that?
And then here is, in my mind, the most eye-rollingly terrible clip of all.
You're alone on a planet with no hope of survival. But you're also not sitting next to Phil anymore in that cubicle, so...
What is happening here? This character looks straight out of Saints Row, and not any of the good ones, the new one.
Win? I'm sorry, but I'm supposed to believe that this guy is essentially something like a space marine?
Why couldn't they just make it dark and gritty, like horror-esque shooter? We don't need that weird comedic bullshit in there.
My suspension of disbelief is utterly ruined at that point. I can't stand characters like that. I don't want a Redditor to accompany me on my Metroid Prime experience. But let's read what some of the usual suspects said about this game defending Nintendo. This guy here said,
"Let's be real. Were the people that are complaining about Mackenzie and Metroid Prime 4 ever gonna buy this game in the first place? Metroid..."
No, we weren't. And that's our point. That's the entire point. Because you can get people like us if you do what we want. I mean, it's not that difficult to figure out what we're talking about here.
It's a pretty niche series, and fans who waited 18 years will not care. We just want more Metroid.
You're not 18-year-long fans. Those don't exist. You don't just play Metroid for 18 years. No, you've moved on, and now you've got, like, nostalgia for Metroid, and that's it. Or some people, like, are new to Metroid, so they don't really even have the nostalgia for the old ones. They just have this weird obsession with stuff that's nostalgic, which I get because I also do. But that's all that is.
And that right there is what is wrong with the entertainment industry.
Yeah, that people like that are just completely full of shit. And I don't even think they know it.
In a nutshell, these people live to consume. They don't care if something is good or not. They don't have standards. They don't give a shit about that sort of thing. But this fella here at the top responded to that post saying, just because your standards are in the toilet doesn't mean everyone else's is. And then another hopeless Nintendo fanboy wrote,
"If one character with a minuscule amount of screen time is enough to kill your interest in a game, then maybe you spend a bit less time on the internet and worry about actual shit going on in the world."
Well, same could go for you too, man. I love it when people say shit like that, because you're just like, you're the one wasting your time writing this fucking paragraph. What are you talking about?
First of all...
And then people will see it and be like, oh, he owned him. And it's just like, this is a fucking clown show. This is a clown show we're doing here on the internet.
How do we know that this...
That's why I can't get mad on the internet. Because everybody on the internet is a fucking moron.
Character has only a minuscule amount of screen time. And second of all, this guy is using a logical fallacy. It is an appeal to triviality. Why do you even care, Chud? It's just a video game. Meanwhile, you aren't meant to notice how much they care about defending it. Anyhow, Mr. Fairplay...
And I don't even care. That's a big problem, because a lot of people are like, why do you care so much? I don't care so much. I think it's just interesting to talk about. If I'm not going to play it, I'm not going to play it. It doesn't hurt me. You can have it. I'm just saying that you keep going down this path of kicking people out of your fandoms, not letting, like, gatekeeping and producing a bunch of trash. You're going to lose more and more and more people, and they're going to come over to our side, and we're going to end up making our own shit, and you won't be invited anymore.
Fired back, mocking the guy by saying, it is only a little bit of shit mixed in. There are more important things than your tongue-tasting shit. And then
go talk about those things.
Dude at the bottom wrote,
the game hasn't been released yet.
And I would like to point out that this attitude only seems to come out when a trailer looks like shit. When a trailer looks good, the fanboys pump their fists and use it as justification for why they're thrilled to drop money on this product. But if it looks bad...
And these corporations put money into places that house these people on the internet, that are home to these people. They know where these people lurk. They know what kind of people they are. They pay good money for it to happen. You ever play the game Game Dev Tycoon? You can literally pay for hype. You can just manufacture hype, and people will be excited for your game, whether your game comes out and it's trash or not. And then guess what? The next game comes out, you can do it again. You can sometimes you got to pay a little bit more hype because you fucked up a little bit too bad the previous year, but you can still just pay more and more and more as long as you got the funds.
Then suddenly, we are supposed to not judge the game by the trailer because we haven't even had the chance to play it. Well, bullshit to that, I say.
I'm right too often, so I don't give a shit.
Trailer is a specifically curated set of sounds and images meant to entice someone to buy a product. If they can't make it look good, if they can't make it appealing, with the deck stacked in their favor like that, how in the hell am I supposed to trust that the game is any good? In my view, if a trailer looks bad, that is far more telling than when a trailer looks good. But I certainly expect Nintendo to make a killing on this game anyhow. They did with the Switch 2 after all. They did with...
It ain't gonna be enough. I mean, like, they can only stack so high before the tower falls.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Because they're stacking this tower pretty fucking thin.
Despite that game being heavily criticized for being slop. But I'm gonna leave it there.
Yep. Nintendo also is not releasing very many games. That's another big one. Like, they may release these super successful games, but they used to release like 30, 50 games a year that were like big successes. And name 5. Name 5 that came. There's not even a Zelda. There's usually a few Zelda games, by the way. There's a few Pokemon games already. There's a few Mario games. Where are they? Plus, the numerous just new titles that come out. With the Switch, you had stuff like, well, I guess technically the Wii U had like Splatoon and stuff like that. You don't see none of that. Like 1-2 Switch was a pretty big deal. So this is a rumored leak that I was talking about. Ubisoft has been purchased, most likely by Tencent. Announcement coming soon. And my announcement is, I fucking told you so. I told you so. I called it. I'm right about these things pretty much every single time. I can't even think of a situation right now that I wasn't right about. When it comes to like the financials of these giant AAA corporations that just generate slop, bloated slop that's like bigger and better every year than the last product that they release, and it just gets more generic garbage that has no soul. I'm right every time.
The suspense is terrible. He's gonna go this time. I hope it'll last.
What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the tantalizingly taboo Dr. Disaster. And when EA was bought out, even partially, by a Saudi Arabian company, the crash out from people, specifically the shitlibs, was utterly hilarious.
Rat, dirty, Turkish, back, flat, important, Philip, Martin, Perkaluma,
By the way, the age of the corporate slot machine is coming to an end. It's almost over. It's all crashing. Ever since COVID, it's been getting worse, and it's been just spiraling out of control. And it's finally ending. We're finally getting the bangers back.
Oh, so angry! It was especially funny because they spend so much time singing Kumbaya and pretending like every culture everywhere is exactly the same and exactly equal, and yet the second that the Saudis were announced to have partially purchased EA, that same crowd started talking about how afraid they are that the notorious Islamic State was going to prevent studios like BioWare under the EA umbrella from making LGBT sludge like they made with Dragon Age the Veilguard. This was funny because they were basically admitting two things in their anger. First of all, that the Veilguard was chock full of gender identity crap, even though...
By the way, I don't think they're going to be able to save it. I think they're going to make it just as bad, just in a different direction.
Many of these clowns tried convincing us that that wasn't happening, and second of all, they had to admit that actually a fully Islamic state is not the same thing as a Western country. Hence, that is why they were going,
You shut up! I'm so f***ing scared right now, you shut up!
The reason I bring this up, though, is because I suspect that there will be progressives out there who pretend that China is a perfectly good and wonderful place with a perfectly good and wonderful government. But if this rumor that we are about to talk about ends up being true, that Ubisoft...
And it probably will, because these big rumors like this that we keep predicting, like, they end up being true. Every fucking time.
Is being completely bought up by Tencent, then I imagine we are going to hear a lot of these same shitlibs getting similarly nervous about the likes of the Assassin's Creed franchise in the same way that they are scared about Dragon Age the Veilguard.
And like, I played a little bit of Where the Winds Meet, or Where Winds Meet, dude. Yeah, that game is actually incredible. I don't know how the game's free, and it makes Assassin's Creed look like garbage. And it's a free game, and it doesn't even look that great. Just, even compared to Assassin's Creed, that looks like over-the-top, realistic, Unreal Engine, gorgeous. It has more style and more soul, and I like the charm of it way more. Like, what the fuck's going on, man?
No. Wait. And that brings me to this rumor. There are now multiple accounts on social media, like the Gameverse here on X, who has a track record of being pretty up on insider stuff like this. Anyhow, they wrote here, breaking. Ubisoft has been acquired by someone. Insiders claim. No official announcement yet.
Oh, they already have been acquired. Holy shit. Yeah, it's Tencent. Like, who else would it be?
And then they replied to their own tweet saying, I'll come back with this post when it goes official, and that makes it sound like they're pretty certain that someone, and let's be real, the Chinese company Tencent is easily the most likely buyer, since they already own
no shot, because they own so much, so
much of the company, but it sounds...
By the way, we called it. We knew that they were gonna just end up basically owning Tencent. And then we said that they were just going to be completely bought by Tencent. And here we go.
Like they are pretty confident that a buyout has happened. And of course, this means that if Tencent makes games in the same way that other Chinese companies have been making games
they're going to kill it in a good way. They're going to make incredible games. If they keep doing what China's been doing. Like, I don't like China, but I gotta give it to them on those games, dude. Way better than the Western slop. Like, we gotta do something.
The last few years, then they will sideline the...
Because, like, China, they slop out some games. Like, where wins meet, they definitely slopped that game out. In a lot of ways. But, dude, it's... you gotta play it. I'm telling you.
Manly girl bosses, and the preachy progressive crap for stories that gamers actually enjoy. Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on the... Almost every day I hear from someone who says they themselves check into that to see what the reception to all of this drama would be if it ends up being true that Tencent is buying Ubisoft. By the time this video drops...
You're gonna be seeing a whole bunch of I told you so's online. And you've been seeing a lot of it if you've been online. Because we've been right about pretty much everything.
This morning, there is a chance that we will already have heard this news, that Ubisoft was bought out. I can't imagine that Ubisoft will be given too much leeway with regards to this crap where they canceled their earnings report.
And by the way, we're going to see this more and more from other companies. It's going to get worse. We said it whenever EA got bought by Saudi Arabia, that we're going to see more companies. It's going to get worse. I could see Activision getting sold off to another company again, by the way. I could see that coming. Or, you know, subsidiaries underneath Activision.
Halted trading of their publicly traded shares. This sort of thing doesn't...
Like Blizzard. Maybe you'll see a split up of Activision and Blizzard.
Happen often, and game journalists were trying to make excuses for Ubisoft the other day when this news dropped, saying that maybe the reason this was happening was because some accountant screwed up some numbers and they had to have an emergency fixing of their numbers before they released them to the public. But with every day that this drama carries on, that potentiality seems less likely. This rumor or leak or whatever you want to call it at this point, suggesting that Ubisoft has been bought out, it seems like just about the only plausible explanation for what's going on. And as I said, I don't think Ubisoft will be permitted to keep things hidden for too much longer. They won't be given very much leeway here. Their investors deserve to know what's happening with their investment. And for reference...
Oh, and they're basically gonna demand it. Like, you can't keep up the charade forever.
Here is another big account on X talking about the news that has been floating around, suggesting that the company has been acquired. MBG wrote, "Insider seems to suggest Ubisoft was acquired by someone. Ubisoft suddenly and abruptly halted trading of its shares and postponed its earnings. Something very significant is likely happening." And then they included a picture of this post here on Reddit, which says, "According to Omar Alamoudi, same person who teased Onimusha's return and Xbox pulling out of the MENA, he said," end quote, Imagine within a single generation, all the world's largest third-party companies have been acquired, and then apparently he attached the logos of EA, ABK, and Ubisoft. And you gotta think, at this stage for Tencent, the purchase is utterly logical. Less than a year ago, they paid Ubisoft a little over $1 billion to acquire...
Oh man, if GTA 6 doesn't make its money back, not even make its money back, it has to make astronomically more than just its money back. Where do they go after that? I don't see what happens after GTA 6. Like, that game's gonna have to go for 20 years, and then what are they gonna do with GTA 7? I think the world's gonna end before we get GTA 7, honestly. Or, like, society collapses. I just don't see the future of there being a GTA 7.
25% of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six under the banner of Vantage Studios. And now I've been looking into what it takes to take a public company private, and apparently the way it works is you have to pay for all the shares of the company, what they are worth on the open market, and then typically the standard is that you have to throw on another 20 to 40% on top of that in order to buy them out. And now, take a look at this. This is the stock chart for Ubisoft, and as you can see here, they are still frozen at the time of this recording, having not changed price for days, and the prospect of a buyout makes the idea of them freezing the stock price make a lot of sense, doesn't it? But anyhow, if you look right here, it tells us what the market cap is for Ubisoft. If you aren't familiar with that term, the market cap refers to the total value of all the shares of a company combined. And as you can see, they aren't even worth $1 billion any longer as a company. They are estimated to be worth around $911 million. And if Tencent were to...
Dude, that means that Asmongold has almost as much money as them. I think Asmongold is getting real close, man. I think he's getting real close. He's able to just throw around $100,000 willy-nilly.
Pay the full 40% extra on top of the market cap, and I don't think they should, mind you. It's not as if Ubisoft was kicking ass or anything prior to all this. They aren't exactly a...
I think they probably need a downsize.
Hot commodity, but if Tencent did that, if they purchased this company, it would be about $1,275 million. Back in the spring, they paid not much less than that for 25% of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, and now they can just own the whole damn thing for about the same price? And in fact, it will probably be less than that because Tencent allegedly already owns around 10% of the company, and so they will only have to pay about 90% of its value. The question then becomes, why the hell wouldn't they do this at this point? In fact, when I'm saying it out loud like this, it just makes too much sense. I'm sure that the only reason that this is being held up at all is that the Weasels and the Guillemot family, who are notorious for their desire to remain in control of the company at pretty much all costs, I'm sure they are trying to find a way out of this situation. I'm certain they are trying their damnedest to find...
Oh, bro, it's too late. Put the prize in the bag. You're done. You are so fucking done. And it's about time. Finally, things are coming around for us. The culture is shifting.
Someone else to buy them out or to somehow leave them in control, but their problem is they are running out of places to escape. They have mismanaged the company to the point that it is worth a fraction of what it was worth as...
And we tried to tell them what to do and like what they needed to do to fix things. And like, not trying to say like, this is how you make a good game. It's just like, this is how you don't make a bad game. You know? When we're saying something looks like shit, you need to do the Sonic the Hedgehog route and be like, oh, everybody's saying it looks like shit. We better change it. Instead of, oh, you're just a hater.
Recently as 4 or 5 years ago. They once traded for around $85 per share about 4 or 5 years ago, and now they are less than $7 per share. That is...
What the hell is going on here, man? What are we doing here? Come on now. I just want to return to a time where I could just go in the browser and play a whole bunch of games like when I was a kid. Like Newgrounds, which I probably shouldn't have been playing. Club Penguin, Pop Tropica. What happened? I want to go back to the good old days.
Web games. Something that dominated the online space for a long time during my childhood, and that's remembered fondly by millions of people worldwide. Today, I wanted to step back into that world and ask the question, what happened to web games?
Dude, that's what I'd like to know, man. Where did they go? Like, seriously, what happened? I actually have no idea. I just woke up one day and realized that they were all gone.
There's a few key things I'd like to take...
Like AndCon, what was it, Crazy Monkey Games, stuff like that.
Take a look at like how customization, community, and monetization all play into how we remember these games. But to begin with, I decided just to dive in head first and join a couple remade versions of some of the most popular web games to see if they were actually any good, or if we...
I didn't know what that Weevils one was.
Just look back at them blinded by nostalgia. As a kid, I spent hundreds of hours on all of these games, with my favourites being Bin Weevils, Club Penguin...
What was it, Toontown? That was one I played a lot. That one was kind of garbage.
Moshi Monsters, and one that's a little bit more niche called Fight My Monster. These games were my first real introduction to the online world and the internet as a whole, and the change from growing up.
Club Penguin and Pop Tropica were my shit, man. You also got miniclip.com. I'm just gonna remembering all of the ones that I used to play back in the day.
In a small town in the middle of nowhere, to suddenly being able to join a massive community of other players was really strange to me at the time.
CartoonNetwork.com had a bunch of great games.
In traditional fashion, when I made my new account on the remade version of Bin Weevils, I created it under the username Fishwasher73, an homage to my old username, Fishwasher72. I'm not sure why all my usernames seem to be some kind of household appliance combined with something else, but anyway. The very first thing these web games greeted you with was a customization screen, one of the key things I mentioned previously that made these games so successful. Being able to customize your own character, whether that was a penguin or a weevil or some other kind of strange creature, gave you that immediate sense of identity within the online world. That was fucking sick. When I was younger, my favourite colour was yellow, so that meant for me that every possible customizable thing was yellow. My bin weevil was yellow, the nest was yellow, my penguin was yellow, the puffle was yellow, you get the gist. Even so, being able to
And dude, creating your own house in Club Penguin and putting all your own stuff everywhere. Oh, and whenever the Facebook games came out, dude, like Car Town, what was it? Car Town was one of them. There was one where you like collected plushies and like designed your bedroom and put plushies in it. And all the girls were playing that one. And I got super popular with girls because I would play it also with them and give them things. But that's really what they were using before. They used me. They used me for all of the extra plushies.
Customize yourself however you wanted in these web games was a great way to make the game feel personalized to each player. And some items like premium outfits gave you a level of status in the games, but we'll get back to that later.
And like me and my friend Carson, we played the shit out of Car Town. We beat it. Like we basically beat it. The only thing left was the microtransactions.
Customization was one of the main aspects of online web games, and gave players a chance to show off their own personalities through their outfits, character choices, and even their usernames. This meant that for the first time for many people, you could decide exactly how you wanted to present yourself to others through how you made yourself look, creating what was probably the earliest online identities a lot of people made for themselves. On top of that, it was a great way to show off how much longer you'd been playing the game, especially if you had rare items or were a higher level in card jitsu than everyone else. Despite having no effect on the actual gameplay of web games.
But you had to be careful, because if you got too far into these games, people would be like, hey man, you're kind of spending all of your extra free time on this game. That's kind of lame, dude. You need to calm your shit.
Customization massively shaped how you went about interacting with others in random lobbies. From chasing people down in groups to throw snowballs at them, to making friends with people because they had similar usernames or dressed the same, the way you presented yourself in these games acted as a sort of social currency for making friends. Customization acted as both a way of finding people similar to yourself to connect with, whilst also creating an unspoken hierarchy of players, with some people immediately standing out in a lobby for having the coolest or rarest outfits, making them the centre of attention. Speaking of social hierarchies, I think we should probably address the elephant in the room about these types of games, and one of the main issues that caused a massive divide in the player bases of almost all of them.
Oh yeah. Memberships. This is the reason I stopped playing Club Penguin, actually, because everything got locked behind memberships.
Most web games had some massive paywalls that locked content behind monthly subscriptions. That cool igloo you wanted? Membership. Become a secret Weevil agent? Membership. Underground Moshi Monsters Disco? Membership. What initially feels like an amazing free, massively multiplayer online game quickly
Yeah, I got some of the memberships for Club Penguin, but it wasn't enough. It's never enough.
Became solely about the money. One minute you've made friends with someone, and the next they've walked into a members-only area, never to be seen again. Getting one of these memberships changed people. Suddenly your closest online friends didn't know you, living it up as one of the elites with a cool hat and bin pets, and all you
No, all my friends had memberships too.
had was an empty nest and obnoxiously loud go-karts.
No, we were living the big life. We were living the dream.
Keep you company. I'm sure everyone was guilty of doing the same thing. Once you've had a taste of the high life, it made you feel like you were more important than the other players. Being part of an exclusive club where features were only...
We just wanted to, we wanted the exclusive stuff and the exclusive places, the exclusive features, and we wanted to be able to meet everybody, go everywhere.
Given to you and not others. only for that to be stripped away when the 1-month membership gift card your parents got you for Christmas ran out. From the perspective of the developers, these memberships are a goldmine, with Club Penguin amassing over $50 million just from memberships alone. But for the average player, the unintentional divide and two-class systems that developed in these games was really obvious, and especially as a kid it felt like there was a massive fracture in the community when you didn't have a membership.
Yeah, and I matured and moved on to RuneScape after all of this.
Time went on, more and more features.
Got the RuneScape membership, which it went way further.
As well as just the cosmetics became locked behind memberships, meaning that you could never really own items or play the full game, but rather pay monthly to be able to wear them or to access everything. To me, these memberships did start to seem more malicious over the game's lifespans, as what was initially a way of getting...
because it's never enough. That's how it is with every corporation that runs this type of thing.
A few special items here and there became a way of excluding people from enjoying the same experience as others, and the system was clearly designed to pressure kids into asking their parents for a membership so that they didn't feel left out. Despite how annoying these memberships were, especially for games with a primarily young audience, the precedent they set for the game's successors is somehow even more abysmal. Memberships like these set the ball rolling for future companies, with microtransactions and subscription-based services having plagued the gaming industry ever since, with companies managing to come up with new and innovative ways to squeeze as much money out of players as possible, in some cases even on games they've already paid for. Definitely not talking about any companies in particular, but
And it got real bad when everything moved over to like Facebook.
Anyway, we'll move on before I rant about it for the next hour. Even though there was certainly a big rift between the two types of players, the overall community these types of games fostered was one that's much stronger than most games ever achieve. The majority of web games had a focus on building connections with others in the community and social interaction.
And guess what? These memberships, when we matured out of playing RuneScape on the computers, our grandpa's computers and things like that, then we went on to Xbox Live. That, like, we just grew up on subscriptions, and here we are, subscription generation.
With Fight My Monster probably being one of the only exceptions, since literally everyone was trying to either kill, rob, or steal from you. Good times. I think that a good
I think Pop Tropico was a good one that wasn't trying to get your money. It was trying to get you to buy things, though, that were, like, never coming to fruition. I played Pop Tropico for a long time, years, and they were still advertising the same shit coming soon.
Testament to how passionate these communities were about the games is the fact that many are still active to this day, despite the games being shut down years ago at this point. People are still actively petitioning to bring them back or are trying to faithfully recreate entire games from scratch, just so that people can play them again, even going so far as to risk legal trouble from the original owners of the games in an effort to revive them. Even during the game's lifespans, the community bred support through myths like being able to tip the iceberg in Club Penguin, making hundreds upon hundreds of people band together to try and get it to work. It really does say a lot about what these games...
I was there. I was there whenever the iceberg flipped. That was me. I was the blue one.
Was meant to people, considering the communities they created didn't just vanish, they moved and rebuilt in other places on the internet. That type of loyalty doesn't just come from gameplay alone. Most of what made these games enjoyable was the interactions you'd have with others. I mean, I don't know anyone who'd log onto Club Penguin and click on the emptiest servers. It felt like there was nothing to do without the island being surrounded by other people, playing mini-games, dancing or wandering around. Or pelting people with snowballs. That's not to say the mini-games weren't a huge part of these games, because they absolutely were, but I think that web games definitely flourished with a good
I barely played the mini-games in Club Penguin. I was mostly just interacting with people.
Combination of both. That being said, most of the mini-games involved some kind of multiplayer aspect too, whether you were sled racing, playing card...
And like, I would call my friends on the home phone to tell them that I was online so they could get online, and then we'd all get online.
Or beating people's score in Puzzle Palace. At least half the minigames available had a social aspect.
Landline, by the way. Landline phone. That's crazy.
Even if it wasn't by directly playing against people. Some of my favourite gaming memories came from these minigames, with one of the best examples being from Fight My Monster. I logged onto the game one morning, and it said that someone had fought one of my monsters, and that whoever wins would steal the other person's monster. The way that battles worked was that each monster would get a percentage chance...
Holy shit, I remember this. Wow, I think my brother played this more though.
To win based off their stats, and it would randomly spin a wheel to decide the winner. It turned out that the guy fighting me used his best monster against my best one, although his was significantly better, giving him a 99% chance to win against my measly 1%. But when I watched the replay of the fight, it actually did land on the 1%, meaning that I stole his best monster. I remember being super excited about winning, only to never use the monster I stole since I didn't want to lose it. I think moments like that give probably the best glimpse you can into what these games meant to people back in the day. Everything that happened in them really mattered, and you always wanted to come back to see what new things had been added for you to try and get. It's not like there was actually anything you could get that was game-changing in any way, but I suppose that's kind of what gave these games their charm. Even something as small as getting a new piece of clothing, a new monster, a new mosh, like, all of these things felt like they actually mattered, despite most of them being completely cosmetic.
Yeah, it was like, oh wow, that's a new thing. Okay, cool. And then that was a lot. That was a lot of energy back then, man. Whenever there was something that was just added for no reason, out of nowhere.
These games made you feel like
that rarely happened back in the day.
You were winning, even if nothing was actually different. It's what made people keep coming back for more. Playing a game so heavily focused on social interaction, and being involved in such a tight-knit community where the character you played as was actually you in a way, made you feel really present in that world, and they focused so heavily on giving players a sense of belonging in that weird, creature-filled corner of the internet that were web games. Now that we've had...
Dude, I got so many viruses from IMVU whenever I was a teenager. Because that's what my girlfriend at that time, when I was like a 14-year-old boy, that's what she was playing. And you know what? I played it too, because that was really the only way that I was able to talk to her after school.
Look at what really made these games so special to people. I think it's about time to take a look at what happened to them, and see some of the main reasons that caused the downfall of web games over time. Initially, everyone's first thoughts about the reasoning for these games being shut down is either A, Adobe Flash being shut down in late 2020, meaning there was no more platform for them to be run on.
That's what destroyed Newgrounds.
Or B, the greedy monetization driving away support. But when you look into...
and Newgrounds had a severe lack of monetization, which is so sad that it ended up seeing the fate that it did.
Actually, they all have massively different stories behind their shutdown, with these two things just being some smaller similarities between them. We'll start by looking at the biggest of all the games, Club Penguin. Even though they had over 330 million registered users, Club Penguin's support dwindled massively over the course of a few years for a number of different reasons, even with Disney taking ownership of the game early on. Mobile gaming was...
That's probably what led to the downfall. Disney's not very good at managing things for children.
On the rise, especially for younger audiences, and the web game style of games became less and less popular, and Club Penguin just couldn't keep up. Disney's solution was to release Club Penguin Island, a successor to the original...
Didn't PewDiePie host one of the server rooms in his house?
Club Penguin with updated graphics and updated pricing. But the new game lacked the charm and social aspect that drew people to Club Penguin in the first place, and felt more like a soulless mobile game instead. By this point, if you didn't have a membership, playing the game was pretty much worthless, since the vast majority of content in that game was members only. Even before Club Penguin Island, updates weren't as well received by the community over the years. Players grew up, numbers dropped, and Disney eventually stopped all updates to make way for Club Penguin Island.
And then Minecraft happened. And then Fortnite happened. And children never looked back.
Considering how huge of a game Club Penguin was back in the early 2010s, it's sad to see how both the original game and Island both were abandoned by Disney, but I suppose it was part of their change in company strategy to focus more on their core IPs like Star Wars or Marvel. Maybe if it had a better adaptation to the fast-paced...
Wasn't there also a Club Penguin Nintendo DS game?
...and changing internet, it'd still be around, but with the reception and backlash Disney got from Island, Club Penguin was officially finished, with the original game shutting down just before its release on the 30th of March 2017, and Club Penguin Island following shortly after.
I didn't even know about Club Penguin Island.
On December 20th, 2018. But for me, it seemed to shut down a lot earlier.
Yeah, I was way into adulthood when that happened.
Yeah, since I got banned. But in my defense, the guy on sled racing was an idiot.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
What an asshole. He got banned.
Taking a look at Bin Weevils, the game's end was a slow burn. They never really made an effort to modernise the way the game functioned or the engine it was built on, and it relied heavily on outdated mid-2000s web design. This meant games with a much smoother user experience began to grow and evolve, yet Bin Weevils never seemed to change, which leads us back to a key problem with web games. Change.
Dude. Yeah. They kind of, the stuff that they changed was like minute stuff that really didn't matter, and the core gameplay didn't change. So it really grew stale, especially as kids grew up, man. They move on to the next version of the games that they like. Like I was talking about with how I moved on to RuneScape, and then I moved on to just Xbox Live in general.
Now, I know it's a little bit hypocritical since I said earlier that the lack of any real change is part of what gave these games their charm, but Binweevil's distinct lack of any change whatsoever left them in a pretty bad position. They weren't backed by a massive corporate entity like Club Penguin was, and without any incentives to entice new players into joining Binweevils, hardly anyone was paying for memberships anymore. When Adobe Flash finally ended support, not only did it mean that the original version of the game had shut down, but 55 Pixels didn't have the funding or means of developing a new version once it ended. Again, it's a shame it had to reach its end, but similarly to Club Penguin, it's just a good demonstration.
This seems like it'd be a really cool, like, friend swap game if they made a new version.
How web games just couldn't keep up with the constant change of the internet. Moshi Monsters achieved a similar fate to Binweevils, with its parent company reportedly being left with a £6.5 million loan that they struggled to repay, leaving them without the funds to try moving the franchise onto different platforms or versions. Adobe Flash shutting down was more or less just the nail in the coffin for a lot of these games, since it wasn't the only reason that they had to come to an end, but it definitely happened during a pretty bad time when these games were struggling the most. The final game I want to mention, Fight My Monster, met probably the strangest end of the bunch, with no one really knowing what happened to it. The developers just kind of vanished and abandoned the game, with little to no communication about the reasoning back in 2012. I suppose we can only assume there was some kind of internal or financial struggles that they faced, but for now, it's left as a bit of a mystery, at least to me. I think it's pretty fair to say that the main takeaway of what happened to web games...
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that just happens, man. Some of these games, you just lose them. They're lost in time. You don't know anything about them. Nothing was ever said about them. There was a game that my brother used to play. I think it was like Adventure Quest, and he'd play a bunch of games like those. I don't know what happened to a bunch of those games. I played them too.
Is that they sort of were a product of their time. A perfect solution to a gap in the market for family-friendly online games in the 2000s, but they just couldn't keep up with the ever-changing landscape of the internet in the 2010s. Between their audiences growing up, the lack of modernization, and even price hikes, people weren't really given a reason to go back to them, especially not with newer alternatives like social media becoming more and more prevalent ever since. And
also, I think kids were just kind of looking for the thing that would grab their attention, and nobody really knew how to do that back then, except for passionate people who just were randomly online. And then corporations start to find out, and they start to get their grubby little fingers in some of them, and the other ones just die off because they don't know how to actually innovate. And then you get along the lines, and you go down the timeline, and you get Minecraft, and you get Fortnite. And that's all that kids will ever need again.
Considered, even though these games are mostly all shut down now, they definitely left a lasting impression on the generation who grew up with them, and I know that their legacy definitely lives on, as the vast majority of people I know played at least one of these games when they were younger, even if they have no interest in games now. It is honestly quite a shame that new generations might not be able to have a similar experience, and their first experiences with the internet might be through less controlled means, since web games had a big focus on carefully...
Now I just enjoy watching documentaries about it happening, because I experienced that shit, man. I want to go back and experience it sometimes, but I know I can't because the times have changed. Everything's completely different. The closest that I'm going to get is Roblox, and that place is fucking weird, and I refuse to go there. And that's where I'm going to end tonight's stream over here on Rumble. And I'm going to, at midnight, in about an hour, I'm going to move over to YouTube, and I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 8. So come check that out, man. Come hang out. I interact with the chat over there. It's great. We have a good time. I'll see you there. Be there or be square. Join the Patreon down there in the description. All right, I'm out.